Hey guys, Janus here. For a list of all the parts you will need, check in the description box below this video. Unlike previous videos, this will be a series of pictures with commentary and some notes at the end. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made this 12 roller Angio wheel in about 11 hours spread out over 3 days. Step number 1, grab a protractor and a compass and then measure out a circle that is 9 inches in diameter on a piece of shelving board. Step 2, make a second circle that is about 8 3/4 inch in diameter inside the first. Make sure your compass lines are clean. Step 3, grab that protractor and use the hole made by the compass at the center guide. At this point, you may find it easy to hammer a small nail into the board so you can rotate the compass around the center point. Once you get your protractor situated, make straight lines using a ruler every 30 degrees that passes through both circles as shown in the picture. Step 4. Once you have the lines finished, circle where the straight lines intersect with the first circle. This will be for the spokes of the wheel that will be drilled out later. Step 5. Cut the piece of board with the wheel picture drawn on it. I use this jigsaw to great effect. While you don't need power tools, they will make this job much easier and shorter. Step 6. Trace out your circle following the 9-inch diameter line. I would highly recommend using a router for this step or a Dremel tool. Do not try and do it by hand or with a jigsaw. The results will be terrible. In this picture, I've used a table-mounted router to cut out a near-perfect circle. Step 7. Using your cutout, trace a twin of it on another piece of board and repeat steps 5 and 6, only this time only following the main line you've traced. Step 8. Take your two wheels and line them up until their edges match up, and you can see your initial wheel, then clamp them together. Step 9. Using a guide or drill press, now drill a 1/4 inch hole directly through the center, using the hole the compass made in step 1 as your guide. If you've lined it up just right, your wheels should spin without wobble, or at least too much wobble. Step 10. Using a guide or drill press once more, drill the holes that were traced and marked in step 4. Remember to come down right on the money and keep your angles good. If you don't, you could easily ruin all of your efforts, and it could result in the caster wheels grinding together later on, making the wheel effectively worthless. Step 11. Once you've drilled your holes out, it's time to start preparing your other parts. Go ahead and reach for that bag of caster wheels, a cutting wheel, and get to it. I would highly not recommend using hand tools for this, as it will take forever and be an enormous chore. Spinning up your cutting wheel, cut into the bar of the caster wheel and take it apart piece by piece. Step 12. Now time for the fun part. If you drilled all the holes clean and straight, the next part should be easy peasy. Begin threading your 1/4 inch bolts through the holes drilled along the periphery of the wheel, and put the caster wheels over the bolts to check for any clearance issues, and then begin assembling the wheel without putting on any of the nuts just yet. Make sure that your 5.5 inch bolt is facing the opposite direction as the handle, as this will be the lever for turning the wheel. Step 13. Once the wheel is assembled, reach for your 10-inch long, 1/2 inch thick bolt and thread a washer onto the bolt and slide it through the wheel in the center. Step 14. Reach for another large washer and slide it on the other side and place it flush against the wheel. Step 13. Begin threading into place your 1/2 inch stop nut until there is a centimeter or so clearance between it and the wheel. Step 16. Begin threading your washers and 1/2 inch stop nuts over the caster wheel bolts and begin tightening them. Just a quick tip here, it's best to tighten the opposing bolts to keep your caster wheels from sticking or the wheel from getting off kilter. Before we move on, make sure that all your wheels are free spinning. If there's any binding, adjust your stop nuts until the wheels spin freely. Step 17. Returning to the handle bolt, begin tightening the stop nut until there's only a millimeter or so clearance to keep your wheel from walking up the threads of the 1/2 inch bolt. Check for any sticking points while the wheel is rotating. If any metal is grinding, back off the stop nut some. Step 18. Reach for your shrink tubing and place it over the 1/2-inch bolt and place it right up against that nut so that way it's really snug on there, and begin heating it up with a lighter to make it shrink over the bar. If you do it evenly, it should look something like this picture. As you can see, the threads are visible through the heat shrink tubing, but they no longer cut into the hands, but instead provide a nice firm grip. If you've taken your time, the end results should be an easy spinning wheel and a well-crafted creation. So, just some notes here at the end. I apologize for the lack of pictures. I'm not exactly certain why, but my phone made some of the pictures exceptionally blurry. So much so that they were basically useless, and I noticed a bit too late. No worries though, I will be talking about this topic in future videos as I update the design of the Angio Wheel. Next time I will be sure to check for picture blurriness. Lastly, as I state in the description box below, if you are a fellow DIYer and you really want to tackle this project on your own, have fun, but remember to wear your safety gear. Base parts for this model will set you back about $90 or so. This wheel here set me back about $96, and I had an absolute blast making this one. This is by far the best crafted wheel and the best working one I have ever made. The 12-wheel design it's the penultimate. I mean, this thing is, wow. I thought the 10-wheel was powerful. I was wrong. I was really wrong. See the wheels here? See that angle of incidence to where one wheel attaches the other? It's just, this thing glides just. It will move blood through your bulbodorsal circuit so fast that if you're not careful, you will actually make yourself orgasm just from the flow of blood. Yeah, this thing is, I love this design. Oh, God. And by the way, I'll be talking more about this in just a moment. Let me set this down. So, yeah, $96 to make that wheel. You know, it could be more or less depending, but expect to spend anywhere from about $80 to $110. Now, that wheel that I just showed you took me about 3 days, like I said, at 11 hours. Might have been a little bit more than that, but 3 days, 11 hours would be a good guesstimation. The very first time I ever made an Angio wheel, it took me about a week to really, get what I wanted, really, make it the way I wanted, get that design just right. So give yourself a little bit of time, 4 or 5 days would be definitely a reasonable window. Now, saying all of that, if you're someone that simply doesn't have the tools, time, or the woodworking skills, and you really want to get your hands on one of these wheels because they're pretty bitchin', I am selling them for $139.99 through Etsy, and I've included a link to that page in the description box below. I figure that this is a great way for you guys to support me, but also get something really awesome out of the deal, which would be an Angio wheel, much improved gains, EQ, and the vascularity like you would not believe. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see everyone soon, and as always, I'm your host, Janus, signing off.